Hey, it's me, Marky Joe, here to entertain you. Yes, it is my show. It exists. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah. I can breathe clearly now, the sick is gone. Ooh, 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 ooh. Chapter 8, whatever, let's fucking do this. Bam! Oh shit, I didn't say click this time. Soulful Bridge! Oh shit, I'm still coughing though, but anyway, boom! We're going to the map. Holy shit, heading up to Kashmir Bridge. Okay, so, first grievance. So, Martha's pursued by the Akania's army, headed towards Kashmir Bridge to escape. Alright, so, in the previous chapter, if you paid attention to the text at the intro, it was all like, yeah, so the guards are guarding Kashmir Bridge. I didn't bring this up because I forgot to, but basically what is being implied here is that the dudes that were guarding the southern part of Kashmir Bridge is all like they chased us onto Kashmir Bridge somehow, but they're north of us, so how the fuck does that work? I don't know. I mean, if you look at the map, it's clear that the Akania army is guarding Kashmir Bridge, and as you saw, it's very difficult to get past them because they deal a fuckload of damage. But, whatever. Anyway, so, let's get into this. So, here's Kane. Oh shit, it's the Red Cavalier. Everybody's favorite classic, dude. But anyway, he's like, yeah, dude, so, I broke through all these dudes, and you're probably wondering why I'm alive, seeing how Arisha got their shit wrecked by Akania, but that's not important. Point is, go seize the castle northwest of here. By doing so, you'll get a boat that will allow you to escape to Caden Desert. And Marth is all like, oh fuck dude, so I gotta make a tough decision here. Fight the Akania army, or experience a series of shitty desert chapters. Oh man, I would not want to be in Marth's position. Okay, so anyway. Sorry, more coughing. Oh yeah, so this shop has armor killers. Very important because we're going to be dealing with at least 5 generals. And holy shit, man, generals in this game are, at least this early, is a real fucking pain in the ass because these guys have so much defense and we don't have a lot of magic. So, having armor slayers is very important. I also like how the beginning of this chapter kind of emphasizes the importance of Fina because, firstly, this is, in my opinion, the first escape mission of the Fire Emblem series. I understand that this is a siege mission in terms of, like, what you're supposed to do, but in terms of, like, game design and function, I consider this to be an escape mission because you're escaping from enemies and you're trying to reach a certain point while mostly avoiding enemies. And one of the things is you have to be quick. This chapter actually has a very strict time limit, so what you want to do is you want to get Marth to the village on the middle island, and then quickly get him back, and I feel that by placing Fina in this spot where she has to, like, dance Marth to and from the village is very clever design in my opinion. But yeah, like, that emphasizes the importance of dancers, and that makes me a happy Dan. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this first, if nothing else, I'll call this like the prototype of escape missions, but I mean, even that's debatable because in later escape missions, such as in FE9, you only needed to bring the lore to the escape point anyway, so it might as well have been a siege, or it wasn't that different from a siege when it came to, like, the actual completion conditions, like, when you get down to the details. Anyway, what else do I gotta talk about? Okay, so, the village, there's a village on the eastern edge, blah blah blah, I already mentioned that. These generals are a pain in the ass. They, like, not only do they have high defense, but they have, relative to anything, high resistance, because they have at least 3. And, so, like, even with magic, you're still not doing much against them. And hey, look, it's our buddy Bantu. Mark's just like, hey, did you bring Cheeky? I mean, that would help trivialize the rest of the game for us, but Bantu's like, no, we have to make sure the game's balanced, so I didn't bring her. But Gato brought her to the Ice Dragon's Temple. And Mar's like, what the fuck is that? It's a place where Henri has been, but no other human has ever visited in 1,000,000 years, which means inevitably that you're gonna be visiting it. And, Marth's just like, whoa, so it's like kinda like the land of the gods as described in the legends. And Bantu's like, oh yeah, one more thing. I'm missing my fire orb, which you just got from one of the thieves you just killed. Could you give it to me? And so we will, if we ever use him. Which is very unlikely, because I you know, I don't use them in book 2. I don't see the point. But, well, we'll see. I've been proven wrong before, so we'll see the results. Anyway, Samto is being a fucking badass, and you see these two generals? He can take 2 hits from these fuckers, and he's a mercenary. Holy fuck. That's how good Samto is now, thanks to the Star Shards. That's the power of the Star Shards. It's, like, amazing. And that, again, it is one of the big appeals for me of FE3, is the fact that you have something that allows you to make shitty units better. Of course, this is not the best practical uses of it, because obviously this is a system that favors like mounted units and magic units. The other thing is that because all caps, like max stats for all units is 20 all across the board, there's really nothing limiting you from having a super tanky mage or whatever. So really, this is a system that benefits flyers, mounted units, and magic users the most because they have the best options in terms of movement or in terms of combat. So, you know, not the best usage of the system. Honestly, the best usage of the system would probably, like, use it on, you know, Paula and such, and Linda, but I'm trying to hold off on using Linda too much because she's gonna get good no matter what. So, as is with the previous chapter, we have knights and mages spawning from the forts, from the same spot that we somehow got past, according to the plot. Yeah, this time I'm not gonna really fuck with them, though, because this chapter has a very strict time limit, and there comes a point where every enemy is fucking charging you on this map. Honestly, this is one of the first chapters in the game where it really feels like the game is fucking, like, holding a knife to your fucking neck, you know? It's all, like, I actually really like the design of this chapter, like, in most aspects. I feel like this is where the design feels a lot more modern, compared to other Fire Emblem, compared to, like, the rest of the design in the game, as we saw in Book 1, for example. But yeah, like, at the beginning of the chapter, there was this thief. It's worth noting that the heroes will not jump in and attack you, even if you get in their range, which is why I was able to attack the Southern Bridge thief without, like, any worry, because they just don't fucking move. I don't know why. Maybe they're just drinking their coffee. Doesn't matter. Okay, so here's a hilariously awful fucking game design decision. So, on the fort, there is a dude named George. Now, you guys know George. He's our pal. He's a handsome blonde sniper. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, you want to recruit him, right? Well, you don't get the fucking hit until you're right there where you've functionally completed the chapter. And even then, it's a vague hint saying, oh, maybe an archer will do. Meanwhile, the only archer of yours that actually works is Gordon, which is the dude that I didn't train. So you can go through this entire chapter, get up to him and be like, what the fuck do I do? Shouldn't I speak to him with Marth because they know each other? No, you have to talk to him with the dude that has had a single piece of dialogue with him throughout both Book 1 and 2. What the fuck kind of sense that make? And then you have to restart the chapter. After you've functionally proven that you're capable of defeating it, you have to restart it. So what the fuck that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Also, this general has a manual scroll. It's kind of a dare to go over there and fight him, but there you go. After a certain amount of turns, a certain dude that I have not mentioned yet is gonna start progressing towards us. And that's why you need to really get up here really fast, because if you don't, then you will more or less lose your opportunity to come after that general, unless he charges you. But I'm not too sure about that. Anyway, let's see. Let's look at more notes. That sniper that I just fought has a silver bow, which is droppable. So now we got a silver bow. Yay. And I already talked about Bantu. Wow, we're almost done with this chapter. So I guess I don't know. What am I gonna talk about? Well, alright, I'm gonna look at my notes quickly, see what else I might be missing. Well, here it is. Oh, who the fuck is that? It's Count Dracula! No, it's Hardin. Marth with his crazy angled face is like, whoa, dude, have you really changed? And this guy gives, like, the most JRPG villain speech ever, like, this world needs to be cleansed. Everything is in a mistake. This isn't like Zephiel in FE6 where, like, his reasoning is, well, I mean, he basically had the same goal, like, humans need to be destroyed and shit. Though he specifically said humans and not the entire world, you know? But, you know, we'll see later on that the reasoning and motivations behind, like, Hardin's actions is not as awesome and interesting as Zephiel's. Like, Zephiel from Fire Emblem 6 is probably one of my favorite villains in the series. I actually consider him pretty interesting and deep, and he actually makes some valid points about humanity that are actually backed up by the game showing you rather than telling you. But yeah, here's the thing. The game warns you, don't fuck with Hardin. Hardin, if you haven't seen... Oh, here's the conversation. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about Hardin more. Hardin has really crazy stats. He has 20 in all stats except for luck and weapon level, which are nothing. Or, in the case of weapon level, infinite. And even if you do have the damage parameters to damage him, you can't because he has the Dark Orb, which negates all damage. And later on, we'll figure out how to deal with that. But as of right now, Marth's like, oh, fuck, dude. So what do I do about this? And then his advisors are like, run the fuck away. Anyway, George here is all like, yeah, I'm gonna join your side because fuck Hardin. He's an asshole. You know, I like Nina because, you know, she's Nina and she's a good person. But Hardin, holy fuck, man. Did you see those red eyes? That is not what I consider to be what I want to get behind, you know? George is slightly racist against people of different eye color, you know? But anyway, just because, you know, because I'm a cheeky little bastard, I decided to sneak in a little extra EXP. Oh snap, look at me, I'm so smart with my management skills. Anyway, look at this shit. This is probably the highest number of enemy units we've had to face throughout this entire game. Thankfully we will not actually be dealing with them, but holy shit, can you imagine what it would be like to have all that shit dogpiling us at once? That's like FE6. Like, when it gets really crazy with the reinforcements. Or this game, actually. Come to think of it, this game and its reinforcements really does not like to let up on that. Anyway, this last enemy phase is pretty boring. They're all just, you know, we've more or less won the chapter. We're all in relatively safe positions. So none of this really matters. And that finally that one mage moved. But, as I said before, I'm gonna take this opportunity to get some extra free EXP! Whoa! Look at that Samto killing things in one hit. Look at his stats. Oh, 16 defense. Wow, he has, I think, more defense than Doga does now. Isn't that sad? And, just for the hell of it, because I haven't been using Linda very much, I figure I'd give her a little extra, you know, EXP here, which really isn't... You know, that's not necessarily helpful because she doesn't have any of the orbs to, like, really make it super meaningful. Like, her stats are still not really all that great when it comes to the strength and defense department, and that's something I want more of. Anyway, so we seize this thing, we do the escape mission, and now we're heading on a boat, heading to Kadeen for our beloved desert chapter area. Anyway, bye.
I need someone to review my FE hack. He needs to be someone who won't cut me slack. It's Monkey Joe, he's arrived from his golden chariot, and down he walks the road browsing